All right. Thanks for coming. Some of my usuals, some of my regulars. And Farron. I just had a couple of things because we do want to start doing this around topics. And Scott and I sat in it, Zach. And this is one that is near and dear to me because time management this week. And I even had like an aha this week that I wanted to share, like even with my own time management, because a habit that I'm in, but I will do it up on the whiteboard so people, nobody at home's watching it anyway. But
If they chime in.
yeah. So like so many times every month we have our calendar, right? And it has the boxes in the month, how many days. And I know a lot of real estate agents that will look at this and they'll look at the big box of the day and they'll say, oh, all right, well, I have an inspection on this day, so I'm busy. I have a closing this day, right? Like they will literally fill in their calendars like this, right? I have women's council, which usually is a whole day, right? Right.
If you're in it, you have for set up and take down and
Right.
all that, yeah. And then drinking.
And then drinking, right? So
After inspection, after closing.
yeah, I mean,
No, just works.
you can fill your month up if you look at your calendar as a 30-day calendar and you start just writing in the one thing, that you have on that calendar that day. Because the rest of the stuff that you do during the day, it's like stuff that you just naturally already do.
Right.
Right? So then you're busy. Like you can wake up and not write anything on your calendar and you're gonna be busy. Right? You're gonna find stuff to do. Laura and I were talking about that this morning. You guys all agree with that? If this is how you look at your calendar, you get to end up with accomplishing at best, probably 15 to 20 things a month.
I mean, like I put on my Google calendar, like the times for the inspection and like, the buffer and stuff, but.
This isn't like anyone in particular, but this
No, I'm
is
just like trying to.
This is one way that
Yeah.
people look at their calendar for the month.
I get overwhelmed because I have the.
I missed the first bit. What did I
Time
miss?
management.
So the topic this week for our mastermind is time management. So, and I was just talking about a realization that I had this week, and I'll get there. But then a lot of people look at a calendar this way. Work week. Thursday, Friday. Sunday. And they will do a very similar thing, except they will say, well, I have an inspection on Monday. I have a closing on Thursday. I'm not working the rest of the days or whatever, right? So looking at this versus the 30-day calendar, even if you just look at your week and you start to put things in to the week versus looking at the full 30 days, you'll probably start to accomplish a little bit more because you'll start filling in things that you need to do. You might need to put in your lead gen, 2 days a week. And you'll start to follow that. And then as you get more dialed into time management, you will have your week, but then it turns into the day. And you'll start to block off some blocks during the day. And this is where I'm going with what I would do, right? And I would make some pretty big blocks in there, and I would say, you know what, I have my lead gen, follow-up, and then appointment, right? Something like that, learn. And as a productive agent, that worked, right? That was pretty much how my day was structured throughout the week.
Mhm.
And as I got better at it, I learned that I needed to put this stuff in before the week started. So I would have my week before it started. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would actually start plugging in what are the things that are most important to me this week. And for me, it would be date night. So I'm not available after 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It would be, family time, jujitsu, whatever it was. I would go through that on Sunday night or Monday morning, and I would put that in. But then I started building out, like, okay, what does the work week look like? And I was doing bigger blocks. In fact, I'll show you on this. Just say last week. I was putting my blocks of time in every day. Like, I guess that was Monday that I was off. But I would do my meetings in there. I had a lot of in-between time because you don't ever want to fill it up.
Yeah.
And what I was finding though is on a lot of my in-between times, because I would have some to-dos down here, I wouldn't fill it in. And that was time that I would find myself like walking around the office, shooting the shit, which for my position today, like that's actually part of what I do.
Right.
But as being a productive agent, those were dead space times, right? I could be running around being like, "Ooh, I got a busy week this week because I have an inspection, I have a leadership call, I got a regional leadership call, I got a national leadership call, I had a couple coaching clients, right? I'm a pretty filled up week, and this is what this week looked like. But I had a lot of dead space in there also, and partially it's my calendaring, but I changed my calendar up for next week to look more like this. And it's because of those, I was drawing in, I was giving myself an hour for half-hour tasks.
Right.
Or half-hour meetings, or basically the way I was drawing it in, it could look like it was 2 hours long.
Right.
For a simple task. And when I broke it down even more granular, I realized I have a whole bunch of open time on my calendar. And that was just one of my ahas that I had this week as I'm trying to get better at time management, knowing that this conversation was coming. Like, we all, like I said, we can wake up naturally and be busy, but being productive is going to be the key. Sure. I don't know if anybody's trying to get in. Nobody's trying to get in.
This is better turn out than most.
Yeah. What are some of the ways that you guys manage your time so you could be as productive as possible for this year?
One of the things that I've been working on with my coach is living in my calendar. Like committing to my time management, really going in like half-hour blocks. So if something takes an hour, it'll take 2 blocks, but trying to live in my calendar. That's something, because I easily, like I'm a squirrel, that's just me, so I have to have it in front of me telling me what to do. like some days I would get home and I'd be like, I didn't even do that. And that was like the one thing I came in here to do.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? I just
For
come in
sure.
here and it would just go poof,
Yeah,
and then it'd be gone, but.
because Dominic's walking around aimlessly talking.
Well, I'm.
You were bullshitting with Dominic all day.
Probably. There's a good possibility. But that's, you know, and that's where I have to put it on there, because if I don't put it on there, probably.
It does not happen.
Yeah, it's
No.
like 50-50, it's a coin toss at that point. And so it's really trying to, like, my calendar's always pulled up on my computer screen now, and I try to commit to living in my calendar.
Yeah.
Because then I'm doing what I said I was gonna do.
I think I need to get the training calendar off because it becomes so, like repetition breeds contempt.
Yeah.
Right, where like I see everything and it's just like PC with billing and leads in the morning, blah, blah. I'm like, I've never fucking gone to any one of those. And I'm like, it's overwhelming to me, because like,
That doesn't exist anymore, that calendar's around.
no, and I took it off. I took it off last week, when I went into my computer and took it off, and I actually got a new link from Marie, and it's still on here.
No, that's fine.
I know, so like, look, it's every day, it's overwhelming to where I'm like, I'm everything that I wanna do on purple, right? So I'll just look for the purples, and like anything else, I just kinda like glance, so I don't even freaking do anything about it. But when I was time managing or time blocking so much, I was even putting in like lunchtime, snacks, blah, 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 all of that, and that too got like overwhelming. I need to find like a happy stuff that I'm actually going to do, you know?
I actually follow my regime pretty
Do you,
closely. Yeah, I've been doing it for a billion years. And like you say, you live in your calendar. If it's not on your calendar, it don't
oh, that's
exist.
true.
But I go more towards a balance, and I look more for color coding. Like, I consider lead gen admin task, you know? And all my admin is always yellow, because I gotta check my alerts,
Oh,
I gotta
I
clean out my
for
email, I
sure,
gotta
yeah.
do all this bullshit, right? It's all that stuff we gotta do, that's yellow, that's admin. When I book an appointment, appointments are always blue, right? So, and my team notifies, oh, Vic's got an appointment just by looking at the color. Closings are green,
Money.
right? And then, of course, and then I color code personal
Mhm.
as red. And so I can just pull up a week at a glance and say, I'm
Yeah.
looking for balance. Do I have closings? Do I have appointments? If there's no blue, that means the greens are not gonna come up in a month from now.
Yeah, right.
You know, so I kind of look for that balance. And if I only have one appointment that week, I know during my admin time of lead gen,
Mhm.
right, I need to get more appointments to balance out that calendar.
I do the same thing.
You
with
know,
boys,
so
jujitsu and stuff like
That seems to help for me. And
Yeah,
I think I'm about 75% efficient on my calendar. And I think that's a
Nice.
pretty
that
good
is,
number,
that is,
you know?
yeah.
But it tends to work. And then, but I also, what I do is like about learning or social media or something. I time block like a half hour a week to say, find something, a training class or something,
Yeah,
and book it. So it's only, good, I got one activity, it's gonna last me 30 minutes. Go find something and book a class or
Yeah.
some type of training for an hour. And I pop that in that blank space, and I will put that as yellow. That's admin, because without the admin, there's nothing.
all
You
right,
know? And then, of course, working out, of course, that starts before 6 a.m.
sure.
You know, but I treat that like in every appointment, I treat like a doctor's appointment, man. You don't miss a doctor's appointment. You
Right,
know, treat everything on your calendar like it's a doctor's appointment. If it's important to you, that's why it's on the calendar. Treat it like a freaking doctor's appointment, and that'll keep you healthy. You know, so that's how I roll.
Does anybody in here struggle with time management?
yeah,
I think I have in the past.
You've gotten better over the last year.
Yeah, 100%. That's I'm gonna focus, you know, because I think it's my brain.
Yeah. Suzette, what does your day look like?
My mornings are good. I wake up and I, do the same thing every morning. That's usually just, I make sure, my husband will leave the TV on, I make sure that's off. And I always like to watch, it sounds greasy, but I like face east, my windows, and I sit on the floor and I watch, the sunrise. While I do that, I'm I put the calm, like the music on or whatever, I'll listen to something, I journal,
Nice.
I stretch, I breathe.
Yep.
And I do that every single morning.
Love that.
Good for
And then
you.
It just goes to shit from there, and sometimes really bad. But I have to like try to not make that last so long. So I think I have to start, okay, you know, you read for this long, okay, you're only gonna stretch for this long, cause like some days I'll be like, oh my God, I've been doing my morning for like 2.5 hours, holy crap, you know?
Yeah,
I can make that last too long, so it's a good thing, but I need to, the rest of everything is bad news bears.
it's kind of just like whatever comes up.
Whatever comes up and I just go with it, you know, but no good time. For a while, I was prospecting it, you know, every day in the morning. You know, reaching out to maybe 15, 20 people a day, whether that be text, email, you know, hey, this was listed in your area, you
Yeah.
know, your neighbor, did you see this, you know, doing that kind of thing. And then it's so easy to get away from it when you stop,
Mhm.
and it's super important to do it.
I found getting off keel on a time blocking or time management is when you're less busy, you know? It seems
For
like
sure.
when I worked at
Yes.
General Motors, you know, the best plant works at 120% capacity, where you're rocking and rolling because there's no time to give up on anything. When we're not busy, you say, oh, why do today what I can put off till tomorrow?
Yeah, right.
They tend to fall into that. So I find being very busy is very helpful to time management. It's when you're not busy, it's the discipline that plays in, you know, because my prospects, you know, I used to have 100 at one time. Now I'm down to like 25 to 27. It doesn't take that long to prospect. You can't pull a loan or a deal out of these people.
Yeah.
So what do? You know, I could go home,
Yeah.
you know, or worry about it tomorrow and give up, hey, it's Friday, I'm just gonna go home and I'll start Monday fresh again. you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
I fall off task when I get busy. Like if
When
I
you get
have,
busy. you
if
fall
I
off
have a
task.
lot going on, like I prioritize what's, you know,
When
gonna
you
turn,
make an activity.
what's gonna turn green, you know, and it's my vision shrinks to that
Same.
sometimes, and I lose all the stuff I need to be doing for the 90 days out.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm really trying to focus on is like, even though I have stuff under contract right now, I'm nervous I'm not gonna have something under contract in 3 weeks. Like, that's where my anxiety is, and I think it's a good thing, but like, that's where I'm trying to change my focus is like, cool, this stuff's in front of me, like, but I'm nervous about 3 weeks from now, so what do I need to do today?
Right, so you're replacing your, what got you the things pending, your lead gen follow-up, you're replacing that with servicing the pending.
I'm trying that, yes, and I'm trying to work out of that right now is the biggest transition.
So you stop the gas pedal from going in, because you're working on everything that's out there and on the field.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cruise control goes,
See,
you know.
that's one reason, see, I've always said, I come in very early, you know, and lending's very similar to what you guys do, but I do all my prospecting between 6:30 and 8 AM in the morning, and I do 99%, 95% via email, not phone calls, because I don't want to get caught in a conversation. But the one thing I benefit from is my reputation is, man, that guy's at work early, and I'm always the first email in their inbox because they got all the 45 junk emails last night. You know, so I get a good response rate by doing it in the morning. So by 8:30 in the morning, I'm done prospecting. So I've done my beginning upfront stuff, so I can take care of the stuff when I'm busy. So that kind of helps me, and that's just a discipline. It's like eating breakfast or brushing your teeth. You do your prospecting.
Yeah.
I feel naked without it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's been a habit for so many years.
it's just ground into me.
No, but yeah, when I'm busy, I get more done. If I don't have much to do, I'm like, do.
Yeah.
I don't have the discipline at all. But if I have an appointment, I'm like, oh my God, okay, I can do laundry this, get to the office, do this, get an oil change and then make it there by 4:30, cool. Or if I don't
So
have shit
is
going
that a
on,
mindset?
Probably.
Say, oh, I
This is
got
all I have, this is the only time
I got an appointment. That's
Yeah.
important that I gotta make that. How come we can't treat that prospect and go into that class with that
I
same?
don't wanna do that.
At least you're honest, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
But how do we have that same energy and passion of that appointment
Right.
to prospect?
I know, and I think I know so, that I'm my own worst enemy and I'm against myself, and that's just how I've been my whole entire life. And still knowing it, and we'll still try to fix it, and then.
See,
Off to the
I have
wayside.
to get out of my house. Like, that's one
Yeah.
thing, like, I have to get out of my house.
When I was dedicated to like my morning meditation and like gratitude affirmations and stuff, like in the morning before I got out of bed, I would literally play it on my phone and do it, and then I'm like, boom, I'm out, mindset, all of that, and fucking toddlers, man. They're just no.
Like, that's
And I
what-
bullshit myself, man. I'm already like talking myself out of it because I know I can, because I'm my own fucking boss.
Yeah.
So
But
there
how
it
do
is.
you not change your life? How do you just add one more discipline every day and have it become?
Atomic Habits,
Get it.
man. I still can't finish the book. I don't know.
That's awesome.
For real, it's
I
ridiculous.
mean, I think it has to start with, you know, your goal for the year and knowing what that breaks down to daily,
Absolutely.
and then just doing that, like, because like Gary Keller always says, like, you can get everything that you need to get done in this business before noon. If you prioritize it and you focus on it and you're done, like, you can.
I think you hit it for me when it was what you could get done in a half hour, you're given an hour block.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll do that, and I will use every bit of that hour because I gave myself time to do so. You know, so yeah.
I mean, while I'm at work, like, I've always treated real estate like it's my job, right? It's every job that I had before this, I had to show up at every
Yeah,
day.
you did that.
And I did it for $10 an hour, $5 an hour. And I had tasks that I had to do throughout that day before I punched the clock to leave.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I've always brought into this, like from the very beginning. Suzette, remember, I was in the office early every day. I was doing my tasks, making my calls that I had to do. And then when I was done, and I was learning as much as I could. And then I was going home.
You're an incredible example, because I could just remember like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, is this what we're supposed to be doing, like the rest of us? Cause
Right,
we'd be
yes.
having coffee and not on the phone and, you know, kicking around and like,
Well, remember,
what
you
is this cat? Like, what the hell?
You can take the blue collar out of the shop, but you can't take the shop out of the blue.
Right?
collar.
Yeah.
Like, I'll play mind games with myself. Like yesterday, I was like, I got here pretty early for the our meeting, and then I was here until I think 5 something. I can't remember the last time I was in the office for that long, really. But I went through all of my auto emails. Well, one page. I was like, all right, get this page done, and I like kind of cleared it out, retouched, some clients, like either call, text, whatever, and tried to like re-engage, and went through like deleted who unsubscribed, and I was like, oh man, it's 4:30. I was like, all right, you're halfway through page 1, man. Just get this done, then you can leave. I'm like, oh, my belly's grumbling. Like, you're hungry. Get this page done, then you can leave. And that's, I feel how I work best, just almost giving myself like,
No mercy.
right,
No
right.
mercy.
Well,
right. But
I
giving
mean-
myself a reward, like, okay,
Yeah.
finish this, you'll feel good, you're done with page 1, come back tomorrow, finish page 2, and then you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's getting in the freaking office.
Here's the thing, like, I don't think that anybody's sitting in this room that doesn't want to have a better year
Oh, totally.
than they had last year,
Yeah,
right? That's why you're here.
yeah.
I think the first step, like for anybody who does, and I want to get better at time management myself, and that's when I started changing my calendar yesterday. I want more time, which we all have the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I want more time. I want to fill my time up with more productive things. While I'm away from my family and here, I want to make the most of it so that I don't ever go home feeling like, well, what did I just do today?
Yeah.
So I think like part of it, and I wrote some things down this morning, were like, I'm gonna call it a time journal. Like, how do you spend your time identifying? Like, this is what I'm good at. This is what I'm building that first cornerstone by having my morning routine, right? You have your morning routine, I have my morning routine. You have your morning routine. Everybody has a morning routine. Now, if you're not happy with it, that's gonna be your first
Right.
step of things to change. Because that's like the foundation of your day. That's like filling your tank with rocket fuel so you can go on to do the things that you need to do, the things that you don't want to do, the sucky things.
Mhm.
And I've always treated that like, yeah, I guess I started that when my kids were young and they were waking up and waking us up, and the house would be chaos, right? So you'd roll out of bed and it was immediately chaos, getting food, changing diapers, getting the kids ready, crying, fighting, whatever. So it was like, I would always, at that time, I would say, I'm gonna wake up 1 hour before the kids normally wake up. If they wake up at 5:30, I'm gonna get up at 4:30 because I have to get my mind right, because I know that I have to leave the house to get into the office to do this, to embrace the suck, to do the things that I don't really
Right.
wanna do. And that would get thrown off the moment that my morning routine was over, and then the chaos would start until I really kind of got my family on the same track. And I was like,
Right.
I gotta keep my positive mindset. So when I leave the house to go to work, to do the things that I need to do so we can have a better life, like that was like the first step of it. So I would say, I would recommend, if your morning isn't what you want it to be, start there.
Right.
When that ends, identifying what you're doing after that. And if you're not happy with what you're doing after that, if that's not going to be something that's going to change this next year and make it better for you, start there with one thing.
Yeah.
Right? Add to that habit like a little Lego block. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna do my morning routine. I'm happy with my morning routine. What's the next Lego block that I'm gonna do? I'm gonna come, I'm gonna go to the office, I'm gonna go to my home office, I'm gonna go to whatever, and I'm gonna email 10 people in my database, right? What are you laughing at?
Just because this morning was a perfect example. I was up I'm old, so I was up at 3:45, right? This is what happens. And I was up late last night, Netflixing, binging on some new show that soccer told me about. And I just didn't want to work out. I just thought, man, it's Friday. I don't want to do shit, man. I go, look, man, I'm gonna get on that treadmill. I got on, it was tough the first mile. I go, okay, I'm gonna just do 2 miles today. I can justify that. And I got to 2, 2 more, okay? And then I got that 4 miles. I go, let's just do 2 more, right? Got my 6 miles done, and I tell you, then I felt freaking, well, tired, but great, because I did it.
Yeah.
And I come in the office, this way, I got the office around 6:30, and shit, man, okay. Got my prospecting done, went through every one. I have no alert. It's all done for the weekend, right? Then had my team meeting. So by 10 o'clock, when I got here, basically I'm done with all my major goals. Take care of me first, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So, but it was tough today. But I feel really bad if I don't work out now, and if I don't get on that treadmill or have that morning routine.
Yeah.
I feel off keel, and then I notice I get a real shitty attitude, and I start blaming everything on my wife.
Probably your fault.
Yeah, I'll blame business on her. Business is slow, and somehow you just want to blame everybody but yourself.
Yeah, right.
Like if you were to treat today like it was Sunday night or Monday morning, and you're planning your next week, I would say, obviously identifying what you've done in the prior weeks that you want to change, but start to like write down everything that you want to do and then everything that you need to do, and start putting times next to them and start adding them to your calendar. It could be unfinished business, or you wanted to vacuum your car out because the salt or whatever, right? All of those things, but prioritize them to not like the urgent things, but the most important things.
I would almost suggest start that calendar, that blank calendar for the week. They say, what do I do in a normal day, right? Get that on there and color code it. This is personal, this is my admin, because we all have those certain tasks we do every day repeatedly.
Yeah.
And get them on there and see how that looks. And then it starts filling in the spots. Or maybe consider color coding. Green is closings, blue are appointments or inspections or something.
I have to color code that.
And yeah, it worked, but start there. Just say, this is my normal day, right?
Mhm.
How can I tighten up to make me feel better, to give me the energy and the confidence to go out there and do a little bit more?
Yeah, for
My
sure.
to-do list is so freaking long. And I really just need to put whatever's on there, like on my calendar, because then that's when I'll scroll through my to-do list, like, don't wanna do that, don't wanna do that, don't wanna do that. No, but like I'll find, pick through and I just need to, I feel like maybe if I get it on the calendar, not just on a list.
Yeah.
And give myself an extra.
And I've heard many times, yeah, you got 30 things to do. Pick the top 3 most important things.
Most
Get them done.
important things, not the most urgent things, exactly, the most important things.
Just pick 3 of them.
What do
Right?
you mean, what is the difference between important and urgent?
Well, if you gotta,
Urgent.
Some that
if you
needs
gotta wash the
attention
salt off,
right away
if you
is
gotta wash
urgent.
the
Would
salt
that be-
off your car or get an oil change because your light's on, what's more important? You really need the salt off your car today? No, but you need that oil change because if you don't feed that horse, you're walking.
Right,
There's an example of what's urgent or necessary.
right.
You're taking a kid to the doctor, or, taking a kid to the doctor, or taking it in for a preview, to say, or just
Right.
some exploratory thing. What has to be done today?
Are you saying that urgent, don't put it on your calendar because you'll do it anyway, or?
No, I'm saying that a lot of people
Do the easy tasks.
will
or
do the
ones that are
they'll
not
make,
The important ones.
make the easy tasks, the urgent ones that need to get done,
That is. Okay.
right?
Use your follow-up time to do the things that you.
Yeah,
wanna
the
do,
blank
like
time.
that. Have that in there, and that's when you know you have to do those things, like, you have to do around that, like you said, when you have an appointment, you organize way easier,
Yep.
well, make a spot to where, like, this is my, catch up, follow up bullshit time, where like, I gotta do it now, or I don't have time to do it in my day.
Mhm.
It's almost like building a calendar, there's almost like, and talking about urgent stuff, it's like building a house, man. You're not gonna go out and, look for paint color before you build the foundation or pour the walls.
Yeah.
What's the important stuff? Let's get the foundational things that get everything going.
Yeah.
We'll worry about paint colors later, or worry about ordered faucets. Get that foundation, get that framing, get the rough mechanicals in there.
If-
Those are the things that get it functional.
If you don't have a pipeline full of business, I mean, the important things are do the activities that you need to do to lead generate,
Yeah.
however that is, some every single day,
Lead gen is mixing the concrete for the foundation.
right?
Looking for properties is not.
Looking for properties is not, perfecting the font on your business card is not, building your website is not, like, in all reality.
They did just fill out the new team website, so it's pretty useful.
So there is a block for that, that is a project, right?
And
That's a
lead gen,
project task.
and lead gen is just generally, I guess if you're new, it's just getting contacts in your database and organizing and reaching out. That is lead gen.
Yeah.
Going to network things.
Yeah.
Is lead gen.
But would your year look different if you were able to say 4 or 5 times a week, I achieved that one thing? Lead gen, right? I'm happy, I got my 1 hour of lead gen in 4 or 5 days a week, whatever you choose. And the answer is absolutely yes, it would.
If anything, it feeds your ego, it feeds your confidence to say, you know what, I've done everything I can today. I can go to bed thinking, damn it, I gave it my effort.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Just over time, like a diet, it's not gonna show tomorrow, but it will show in a month.
Someone put it into perspective to me a long, long, long time ago, back at the old KW Brighton building, and they said, if your single most important thing is family, your kids, right? Your kids and your wife, or husband, and you left your house every day and you were gone for 7 or 8 hours a day away from them working, when they wanted to see you and be with you. If they came to work and stood behind you and watched what you did for that 7 or 8 hours a day that you were away from them, would they be proud of you?
Mhm.
Or would they be really disappointed that you're spending your days away from them to do the things that you're doing? And that's why I was in there making those calls and following up. I didn't want to let them down.
Mhm.
Or if you promised your kids a Disney cruise and you said, hey, listen, if I lead gen for 1 hour a day, we can go on a Disney cruise this year. you hold me to that, but they were standing behind you, like, would they think that they're going to the Disney cruise or?
You know, another way to look at it is, you look at yourself during the day, if you were your own boss, would you hire you or fire you?
Right.
For what you're doing?
Yeah.
Would you pay somebody to do what you're doing?
Yeah.
In that moment?
I mean,
I set it up a lot where if I want to add a certain amount of contacts in the database every week, we can have that goal, right? And that's one of my Monday through Thursday goals. And then also set an appointment. And if I haven't done those on Friday, I know my day is going to be longer than it is. And if I have done those, I'm probably going to leave here for lunch on Friday and go home and put my phone down and, hang out around the house and not do much and really start my weekend. But if I got there, but I have to get there first, I have to make contacts, I have to add those, I have to have, an appointment.
See, that is my goal, like Fridays, is no appointments after 2:00. That's my family time. My weekend starts at 2:00. Like, how the hell do I get there?
Yeah.
Have that appointment on Thursday night if I got to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the reward for the operative Monday through Thursdays. I can take off on Friday and, and it's funny because on the weekends, sure, I want the phone to ring, and when it's silent, I go, oh my God, if my business is dead, no one's gonna call. And then when someone does call, I go, oh, there goes my phone.
Not even.
Yeah.
Not
I don't know if
even
you
kidding.
guys
Yeah,
ever feel
no.
that.
Yes, yeah,
why do they gotta call on Saturday at 2:00?
right, for real.
But yeah, we're all glad, but yeah, we bitch about it, but we're glad
know.
because the efforts help pay off.
Yeah. I mean, I do that same thing, but every single day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, not the call thing, but I want to accomplish the work. I want to accomplish the work that's on my calendar, the important tasks that I have to do every day. To go home at 3:00.
Yeah.
To get kids off the bus.
It's funny, I have, every couple of years I do this because I get off the field, but I have an Excel thing, it's a time tracker. And you just put in there's every 15-minute increment, you just put in there what you did and you mark it in these 3 categories, and it pops up some graph after a week of where did you spend your time doing what? And I was so amazed, like, oh my God, it was. Huh?
Spent all my time graphing.
No, but actually every 15 minutes, I was prospecting, I was doing this, I don't know, I went out to lunch. And it kind of puts these in categories and you don't realize how unproductive you actually are.
Yeah, right.
And I thought, Jesus Christ, and then, wow, good reality check.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, we don't have to do a whole lot different than what we're doing right now to make this next year different and better.
A little bit of extra.
It is literally 1%.
I mean, Farron, you're always a little bit extra, so it should be easy for you.
I was really waiting, but
We
a
talked about,
little bit of extra.
we talked about that lead gen, and making calls, I like to, I call past customers, call agents or whatever.
Yeah,
And I always got that, in 23 years, I still got phone break. I was like, oh, I don't want to pick up that phone. I hate people, and
it's that first action.
it's
step
that,
for
but it's
sure.
that first or second call, and then you say, okay,
Yeah,
I'm in a group. Let's get through 20 of them. You don't want nothing to throw you off because if it does, it pulls you out of that zone. So I like to get into that zone, get them 20 calls in, and then, whew, get off that treadmill.
Yeah.
Move on.
And it's not even doing more than what you're doing right now, because I guarantee that all of our schedules probably look somewhere similar to mine. And there's actually a lot of open space on there. It's just replacing whatever you're doing right now that's not productive with something that's productive while you're at work.
This morning I was, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. So, part of it now is all this social media, it's been getting stronger and stronger. And then now there's all this AI. I see people using the AI for their photos. I see people using AI for their post, and they're copying and pasting from Chat GDP. And you read through it, you go, oh my God, don't you know you were supposed to edit this? And I was thinking,
right.
oh my God. And then all these chat bots every time you go on a website and all this. And when I scroll like everybody else. You see all these lead gen things with AI, we're gonna triple your business this year. You know, and I'm wondering, does all this stuff work, or do people buy into that? What about not artificial intelligence, what about real intelligence? You know, or am I just old and that's where it's all going? Because I sat down with a couple agents, I said, hey, walk me through the social media. I want to put a little bit more into it because I'm supposed to get more likes. How do I trend, right? Become trendy and all that. And I watched them do their Facebook. Oh, well, you just go into this and you just like everything and anything you like it, put a quick comment. They're not even reading the post. They're just doing this to try to get likes and stuff. And I'm thinking, my God, the hour you waste on social media, you could be doing real intelligence and I don't know if I'm just old and big, you gotta get in front of the curve here, or is it just getting out of whack?
I think whatever you do, your people will find you, so do whatever you're comfortable with, because if you're not genuinely like into it, it'll show.
Okay,
So
good.
just do what you do
I
and,
mean, look,
yeah,
some people in this office, they do social media and they don't really lead generate and they have huge businesses.
yeah,
Really?
Huge.
yes.
Yeah, and they're on social media all the time and they're always tying it into their life, you know, that they're a real estate agent and they do $10 million.
Like I rarely
Yeah.
put
Really?
on like
Two of them
anything
that do it
real
really,
estate
really
wise.
well.
But it's not, it's more about doing yourself and not like, oh, here's a list of things to do for spring.
Exactly.
Right.
Just, no one cares about that.
So you're pulling more shit off your personal page, it's just saying, yeah, I
Yes.
fucked up the other day and all that.
I mean, it's personal business, personal business, you know, it's like the algorithm, like it's not.
It's
yeah,
like my wife will be cleaning the house with her headphones on and I'm like, what are you listening to? And she's like, a podcast. And I'm like, about what? And she's like, nothing. Like, it's just a podcaster that I follow. And she just like, she talks while she's cleaning her house. It's like, or, you know, make cooking food or whatever. It's
Right.
like these like Crow and Leader, like they literally just document their life as they go and people follow them
They're
almost
likable.
like bloggers.
But on their personal page, right, because business pages don't bring shit. As far as I know, unless I'm
It's
wrong.
personal,
Personal.
no one wants to be sold.
So you throw a little thing on business on your personal.
Exactly,
Yes.
Yeah.
I have my business page only to share, because I have like no followers on, even when I request, I don't get any
Okay.
people to follow, but I use it so I can have something to share on my.
Same.
So just let them know who you are, man.
like your hobby is what you like to do, you'll naturally get those people as followers or clients or customers or friends or whatever.
Yeah, like a whole bunch of people have to see you and like seeing the things that you do, and then they have to know what industry you're in.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I rarely post about like closing and stuff like that, 'cause I feel like I'm so bombarded with that, like on my Facebook, it annoys the shit out of me. And I don't wanna be annoying to anybody else, so I rarely post about real estate. It'll be
So there
like,
was one
if it's interesting to me, I'll post it.
training I did with Bojo, where this guy just became the news source for the Ozarks. So all he did was like stuff that was going on in the Ozarks, he did a TikTok, was doing news articles on it and stuff like this. He is not a realtor. He was getting 10 leads a week. People being like, hey, I'm looking for a house here, that he became a realtor and just referred the stuff out.
No shit.
Yeah.
And that's all he did, was just like, became the
But
go-to
that's what he
place
likes.
for knowledge
That's what he's
on
passionate
real
about.
estate.
And you guys do this religiously.
I don't
I don't
know. No.
Not nearly enough.
So, I mean, we're talking about time blocking, because I'm saying, you know, maybe I should just dig in social media, an hour a week or an hour twice a week or something. I don't know, what is,
If you find a good deal at like Meyer or something, like, oh my god, look at this meat. You know, something like, they like, I don't know, if you like cooking, like, what is like a good fucking steak?
or do you put a
Meat's so
goal for
expensive,
4
you know.
posts a week?
If you, yeah, if there's a good deal on like Chuck or
If
something,
you want
to
to
golf.
that, you know, if you wanna open up that lane for yourself.
Well, I don't know if I wanna open the lane, but I do want more people to understand what I do, and then I don't force myself on anybody, but I'm here to answer questions on mortgages and real estate or whatever, that's all.
So you
But
know
when
we don't
you
wanna
see
hear
those
that.
ads
No one
on-
cares.
when you're on social media and you see another realtor post something,
Yeah.
do you watch it? When they're talking about the industry or other lenders
No.
talking about the
No,
industry,
you
do
don't.
watch it?
No.
No,
Is that
because the average person doesn't care, they're not there for that. They're
I
looking
may
there
look
for-
at a lender to say, what's he doing?
Well, that's why I think you have to put, 3 or 4 posts together and then
slide in a little bit of real estate, just so like you're gonna come up in the algorithm, even if they're going past it.
Yeah.
If they like you, but they see you sitting there doing what you do every
Okay,
day, then it's just, you're taking that mind share, you know, you just wanna be one of the two they think of.
So would it be wise for you to just say, hey, just put a little bit more about yourself out there, pop in something about what you do, and just.
Thinking it
Funny and animals always works.
Just like us. You know, if your sphere of influence on Facebook
Yeah.
or the people you come in contact with, they're gonna do business with you because they know, like, and trust you. If everyone just knows you as Victor the mortgage guy, but they don't know anything about you otherwise, they might go to Nick Wilson because like, right, because they know that Nick Wilson.
His kids played soccer with like.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I gotta take a different
So
mental look at it.
your identity is Nick the mortgage guy, but if other people knew, like, Nick is not just the mortgage guy, like, Nick is the father and the husband and
The walk for beer guy.
the walk for beer guy, like, whatever. And you're funny, like those videos that you were doing during COVID or whatever, where you're like sweating on the treadmill and doing the funny shit, like that shit was funny.
Yeah.
You actually got into social media, I don't think you remember.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Could make some shit, yeah.
Who was that with? Who are you doing this with?
Oh, this, with the sweating?
Yeah.
That was sit-ups with Dustin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But it's real and it's genuine, right? You'll wanna see that.
Okay. Sorry,
No, you're good.
No.
but it was about this AI, just like, my God, how fake.
As literally you were saying that, I was uploading a new photo for my AI.
No shit.
I was like, oh, I got boys, like, I wanna see what my face looks like today, cause I don't like any. Yeah, cause I'm,
Oh, like what
Too
Aaron
cheap
did
for
the other day?
headshots. Yeah, I was like, which one are you using?
Go-
No,
go-
but
go
I've
take
seen
session two.
reviews that are generated by AI.
That's crazy.
My wife sent me this yesterday and she goes, do you know who this is? And I go, I don't think so. What is her name? And she goes, that's me. I'm like, maybe you should go blonde for the summer. That didn't go over.
I'll be home in
So we role playing? Hire a wig. Love a good wig.
That would go over
You'd be
great.
like, so
not?
you want someone else?
Just switch it up, babes.
AI, I think, can be used as a good tool. And I like how people are using it for listing descriptions and things like that. It just kind of takes the thinking out of it, gives you more time, right? Because some people can spend hours on listing descriptions. But it is, it's here to stay. It's not
Yeah,
going
I
anywhere.
Terrifying.
It is slightly terrifying. Like they've already shut it down once because it started getting so smart, like smarter than,
Did you see the two talking together about destroying the world?
you know.
It was two phones going back and forth, like, we'll never know. It's like literally what's happening right now. Like, shut it down slowly and then poison the water. And then they're like, yeah, we're the silent something. It was like, yeah, we'll never know. It was us.
Wait till you see have you seen the Lockheed Martin? It's
No.
it like hovers and shoots, and it's about like this
The
big,
drone?
and it's just loaded with guns.
Have you seen the
Terrifying.
fucking dogs? Oh, it's so scary.
It's like, it's all remote, you know, it's all
Oh my God.
computer controlled. It's like,
Well, I was more concerned about the interaction with the person because, you know, can you do a home buyer consult, you know, with AI when they're reading this stuff or chatting with a bot where each person's individual situation is very unique and we gotta dial in. There's that human factor.
There should always be.
Well,
I think they're
that
mostly
kind of stuff
appointment
is not
centers.
great. Like a lot of people use it for lead gen, like they'll use it to call or text
Okay.
huge swaths of people.
Yeah.
But then you just get a list and then you have to go and call the list anyway. So why don't
Right.
you just call the list, just call it over? Because you're probably gonna have a better chance of converting stuff than.
I think it's an appointment setter, you know, what I mean, on like a generic follow-up, like if you had a Facebook ad going and then boom, instantly it's answering questions like, hey, what made you click on this house? They type a response. Oh yeah, you know, it's a great neighborhood. Would you like to learn more about it? Boom, yes, you know, we've been looking here for, and if they can get interaction with it, you wanna know what? Let me set up a call with my, you know, my team, and then and then you get a notification, you're gonna get a little bit of dialogue, and then you can go in and you got a head start on it. And that's where I think it sort of is right now. I don't think it's something that's gonna take it to, you know, where
they're gonna do
any
everything.
further than that, but it's at least getting that initial conversation going, so they almost make you a more of a real person when you give them a call, even though they were talking about a robot.
I had the logo
I
at
had to look at it,
Dwellings and
yeah,
that was
for that.
what it did, it was awesome.
White Elbow.
Mhm.
Yeah, White Elbow is
Well,
really
for the
good.
calendar, though, I think I'm gonna just discipline, add that social media, just make sure I pay attention to it, make sure I'm posting regularly.
Yeah.
More about just life.
And there's a whole posting schedule, like 5 to 8 motivation, 8 to 11 something funny, or like morning routine stuff, and there's a whole schedule for it.
It's whoever's on social
Yeah.
media at that point
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a guy in the street.
Wow, they go down that rabbit hole that deep?
Someone
Oh,
puts
yeah,
that
for years I've had
motivational
that
stuff in the
schedule.
morning,
For
maybe in the
years.
front of the room looking at all of us.
That's when I'm getting my mind
Right.
tuned up.
So let's post up masterminding.
I have a question. Who is punctual in here? Who is always on time?
I really try.
If you're on time, you're late. That's how I look at it.
Okay, so,
I trick myself.
yeah, I want to hear tips and tricks, because I'm not late for my clients, but I would be lying if I told you half the time I'm not running with my heart beating out of my chest, like, oh my God, and kind of just flying in hot.
I put
always.
everything at least 15 minutes to a half hour on my calendar and on my alarms before I have to be there, so I show up a little bit earlier on time. Every single clock of my house is at least 4 to 7 minutes ahead.
Except your phone.
But don't you know that?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I
Don't you know
do, but I don't at the same time, because I'm just like glancing down, I'm like, because I'm always rushing, always rushing to get ready. And then, and my calendar, because I don't know if it's 15 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on, how to schedule, depending on what I have going on beforehand. So like, a hair appointment.
I can't stand to have dead time. And then in my brain, I think that things that I'm trying to do is gonna take way less time than what they actually do. So for me, like my husband will be like, what are you doing that for? Don't you realize we have to leave in like 10 minutes? And it might be a task that takes 25. And in my mind, if something starts at 5,
Mhm.
I need to be there at 5, not
No,
at
you do
5,
it.
you're late.
4:45.
already. I don't know, like, how do you change
I work
that?
backwards.
I don't know how
Yeah.
to change.
That's a mental thing. Are you artistic?
Very.
So my sister, same thing, no rush for anything. Takes her time, perfectionist for sure, but, you don't have this sense of urgency. You need this sense of urgency and it starts at 5 and make sure that you have it on calendar for
Just pretend it's
4:45.
a doctor's appointment, yeah.
I literally put on my alarms on my phone to get here today. It started what, at 10? I said that it started at 9:45 on my calendar. Not only did I start alarming myself, literally an alarm goes off at 9. You have an appointment at Mastermind at 9:45, 9:15, leave in 15 minutes, 9:30, leave now. 9:45, it literally is an alarm says you're late if you're not on the road. Like I literally have to set alarms to get myself out the door, or else I won't.
I don't put anything on my calendar without notifications on it as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that part of it is
Knowing yourself.
knowing your week in advance. I mean, and like, I believe that subconsciously, if I write all this stuff down that needs to be done before the week starts, subconsciously, I know, like, I'm already thinking ahead. Like, I know that if I want to wake up at 4:45 every single day, I can set my alarm for 4:45, and I don't just set it to go automatic to where it's always 4:45. I will set it every day for 4:45 or whatever time I want to get up. And honestly, when I do that, I typically wake up a minute or two before my alarm goes off because my subconscious mind knows that I'm getting up.
How do you feel about other people being late when you have something planned?
That pisses me off.
Yeah, I'm feeling the
Well,
same
I
way.
would
That's
never
why
want
I'm
to-
always on time.
That's right.
I hate when people are late. It drives me
Don't care about it.
absolutely.
Doesn't matter.
Very
It is.
disrespectful.
It is.
Zero.
It is.
I don't care hear about anything like that, that's just
No.
rolls off my back. My wife gets livid. My wife is always
Oh
2
my
hours
God.
late.
See,
like,
I will.
I used to be until I got into
I'm
real
the
estate, I
first
didn't
one to
realize how
everything.
disrespectful
If
it
I'm
was.
meeting with somebody, but if it's something that I'm gonna let myself down, like say I'm trying to go to a concert or whatever, I really wanna see the opening band. I'll be like, why'd you drag your feet? Now you miss, that first,
Yeah,
or like a class, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to this class, and then, like, I'll hurt my own self, like, if it's
Yeah.
for a client, or if it's where I'm like, will not, because I'm a people pleaser, I'm not gonna piss you off, ever.
Right.
But for my own self, I will jeopardize my well-being, my peace, because I'll do stuff until the last minute, and I'm flying, like, literally running.
so first is recognizing that,
Yeah.
and then it's really set some alarms and see how that works to get your butt out the door. Because she deals with what Alex does, that she doesn't realize how long a task takes, and until, you have to be self-aware, like, how long does it really take you to get ready? Me, literally, I'm rushing if it's an hour and a half.
I would add
That's
to
me
your
rushing.
affirmations in the morning,
Oh, there
just
you
start
go.
saying, I'm gonna be 10 minutes early to everything this year. And then,
Yeah.
and as you do that, like you will start to, and then it'll become such a way of life for you that
Yeah.
eventually. it'll get-
Or a constant struggle.
Yeah, like, or put like you said, your breathing, your calm
Yeah.
routine, like, I'm gonna get there 10 minutes early so that I can put myself in the best mental state, so when someone else shows up, I'm ready to go, like,
Yeah.
I'm 100% me, like, go.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
create maybe that little buffer time, but have that buffer time set for something that is important to you, so that you're gonna get out the door and get there to be able to
Like,
do
that
that.
can be one of your
Yeah.
personal goals this year.
Absolutely. Be more
Right.
self-aware about your
And
routines.
I was thinking about that as we were talking also, like, when you go to build out your weekly schedule, like, do you wake up every Monday morning and know what your goal is for that week, business-wise?
No.
If you don't, then you don't know why, or nor do you have importance of things that you do put on your schedule, right?
Yeah.
Like, knowing that, I'll always write at the top of my page what my one goal is for the week. For most real estate agents, that I've run net profit goals for the year, it literally equals to 1 to 2 appointments per week. So if you woke up every day saying, this is my schedule, I need to make sure that I'm doing the things on there. It could be a half hour or an hour. But my goal is 1 to 2 appointments a week.
New appointments?
Yep.
Or just appointments?
New appointments. It could be a buyer consultation, it could be a coffee. Yeah. But if you don't know that, you don't have a target, and if you don't have a target, you can't hit it.
Mhm.
You might, something will fall into your lap, right?
Yeah, right, and that's how I live my life.
But if you go into every single week saying, all right, it's a new week. To hit my goals, I have to get 1 to 2 appointments this week. Look at your calendar. If you don't have activities on there or they should be on there, that are going to cause you to somehow, some way get those 1 to 2 appointments, then they'll come. And I think you said something to me years ago in Brighton. And it was like, if you do that, if you find yourself, saying, all right, I'm going to do my lead gen, and I'm going to call for an hour a day or 30 minutes a day. When you put the energy into doing that work, and you have a goal in your head, in your mind, that you know that you want to achieve that week, the business ends up coming from other places to help that goal come into
Absolutely.
fruition. But
Absolutely.
you have to be putting in the energy and the work in order for that to come.
Yeah.
But you also have to know what your target is every week that you want to hit.
And then when that happens, usually for me, it trails off. Cause then I'll be like super busy and I'm like, all right, cool.
Right?
And
Then
then-
you stopped doing
Yep,
productive
yep.
work.
And
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep, I'm a roller coaster ride,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It
My goal
holds
is
to
get
be
off
Peaks
so
and valleys.
true.
Get off the wave.
Get off the wave.
So right now, I have a 11:30 appointment to bring my cat, who looks like Braveheart right now.
At
to the vet
11:30?
At
You're not
11:30.
doing it.
And here I am sitting here. This is how and a lot of times I'll like call my son, hey, meet me on Grand River and get the cat. And that was 2 weeks ago. Get the cat. I'm sorry, they meet me at, well, I'm gonna be late. Take the cat up to Meyer, we'll switch in the parking lot. Here I am. How long is it gonna take me to pack up my stuff, get to the car, drive home,
Yeah, you
get
need
the
to
cat,
go.
drive?
Well,
This is how I go.
my
Work
next meeting
backwards.
actually starts right now, so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Go get your
I
cat.
know. If you're
Oh,
at
it's
home,
already
if you're at
15
home.
minutes late.
See, I think I get so angry about